Welcome back to my channel. This is video number 2. We are jumping into the book of Ecclesiastes, whatever you want to call it, I guess. I don't know. That's not Ecclesiastes, that is Colossians. Okay, Ecclesiastes chapter 1. I'm reading the NLT, New Living Translation. I read New International Version, and then my study Bible is New King James Version. So either of those is cool. If y'all have a translation that y'all would want me to check out or maybe read, drop in the comments, guys. I would love to read it. Alright. These are the words of the teacher, King David's son, who ruled in Jerusalem. Everything is meaningless. Everything is meaningless, says the teacher, completely meaningless. What do we get for all their hard work? What do people get for all their hard work under the sun? Generations come and generations go, but the earth never changes. The sun rises and the sun sets, then hurries around to rise again. The wind blows south and then turns north. Around and around it goes, blowing in circles. Rivers run into the sea, but the sea is never full. Then the water returns again to the rivers and flows out again to the sea. Everything is wearisome beyond description. No matter how much we see, we are never satisfied. No matter how much we hear, we are not content. History merely repeats itself. It has all been done before. Nothing under the sun is truly new. Sometimes people say, here is something new, but actually it is old. Nothing is ever truly new. We don't remember what happened in the past, and in future generations, no one will remember what we are doing now. The teacher speaks the futility of wisdom. This is in verse 12. I, the teacher, was king of Israel, and I lived in Jerusalem. I devoted myself to search for understanding and to explore by wisdom everything being done under heaven. I soon discovered that God has dealt a tragic existence to the human race. I observed everything going on under the sun, and really it is all meaningless, like chasing the wind. What is wrong cannot be made right. What is missing cannot be recovered. I said to myself, look, I am wiser than any of the kings who ruled in Jerusalem before me. I have greater wisdom and knowledge than any of them. So I set out to learn everything from wisdom to madness and folly. But I learned firsthand that pursuing all this is like chasing the wind. The greater my wisdom, the greater my grief. To increase my knowledge only increases sorrow. So that's chapter 1. So one thing you're going to know about this chapter, and one thing you'll notice, is that it talks a lot about chasing the wind and, life being meaningless. And in ways, kind of life is meaningless. This life is meaningless. But you find meaning when you live for the Lord, and when you serve Jesus Christ, you find meaning. So the underlying mood of this is finding joy in life despite the troubles that often plague life, right? So we've all been through strife and stuff like that, trials and tribulations. For me personally, it was getting laid off from a job, and then I discouraged and I got kind of depressed, and so I kind of hesitated on getting another job. Really, I was trying to get a job, but I wasn't completely trying, and so I wasn't giving it my all, because I'm very capable of getting a job. It's not like I can't get a job. Like, I live in Oklahoma City, dude. There's so much opportunity here. It's unreal. And so the word meaningless comes from the word hevel. It's Hebrew, and it means smoke or vapor. And so think about it. Those of you who maybe vape or smoke, like smoke, right? When you see it, it's like it's physical and it's solid, but when you grab it, there's nothing there. Temporary, right? Very temporary. And life is temporary. That's what he's talking about. We all meet the same, we're all going to meet the same fate. It talks later on in Ecclesiastes, that we have the same fate as animals. We're all going to die. Life is just temporary. Everything in this life is just temporary. And the thing about it is, and I do this, is, and it's the flesh. We try to build meaning of life apart from God in a career, status, wealth, and treasure, stuff like that. And you do feel some fullness in it, right? That's why we crave it. That's why we crave, money, wealth, gratification, all this stuff. But it's really just, it's all meaningless, because it's like not something we can take with us when we die. And what the teacher is advocating here which is like knowledge, wisdom, and fear of the Lord. I guess throughout, that's what he's advocating throughout the whole book, is what you'll see. But even what he is advocating is hevel too, because just because you have knowledge and wisdom and you fear the Lord, that doesn't mean that life's going to be great. Like, you're still going to, like, the trials and tribulations of life are still going to happen. You still might get laid off. You still might get evicted. You still could lose your car. Like, life's going to happen. But you have to find joy in that. And finding joy in that gives you that fullness that you won't need to always hunger more. They were interviewing Tom Brady one time, the GOAT, right? And they asked him, like, okay, you have all these Super Bowls, like, what's next? And he's like, I still want more. I have all these Super Bowls and these MVPs and stuff, Pro Bowls and all this, and he still wants more. Even a guy who has performed at the highest level, he still wants more. And it just goes to show that nothing in life, all these things that we build wealth around, or we build value around, doesn't matter. And that true value is found in God and serving God and living a life for God and not for yourself. And then that's when you reach full satiety or fullness, right? I like what it talks about. It talks about, we don't remember what the people before us did, and people after us aren't going to remember what we did. And it's so true, because, the world keeps turning. The world will always keep turning. The sun's always going to, rise and set, and it talks about the sea never being full, and the rivers that fill the sea are never being full, and it's always continuing on. It's so true. History repeats itself. I'm sure we've all heard that, right? History does repeat itself, and it's going to continue to repeat itself. Next thing I'm going to talk about is life being impossible to control. And as a man, and I'm sure to all my men watching, as men, we like to control everything that's going on. We like to control what we do, what we think, everything. Like, we just like to have everything in our control. And the fact of the matter is that life is not in our control. Like, I couldn't control me getting laid off. You can't control if your car is going to break down or all this stuff. Like, you can maintain it. Like, you can't control if someone's going to hit you. You can't control all these things. Like, you can't control when you're going to die, right? You can't control any of this stuff. So it's pointless to try to control it. It's meaningless. It's hevel to try to control it when it's going to happen. So we just need to find joy in it. In whatever happens, right? If you get evicted, yeah, it's gonna suck, and it's gonna be on your credit report for 7 years, or whatever. But it will suck. But it's not the end. It's definitely not. The coming of Christ, right? It gives us something eternal, everlasting, something to look forward to. Because in this life, yeah, like, if you save up, or you make $1 million, or you're a millionaire and you make it big or whatever, like, you're still gonna die, and you still can't take that with you. And that's just the truth of the matter. But with Jesus, we have something everlasting. I'm gonna read y'all Colossians chapter 3, verses 23 and 24. It talks about working for the Lord. So I'm gonna read y'all this real quick. Appreciate y'all's patience with me, and I appreciate y'all coming back to watch the second video. If the Lord has revealed something to you, or if maybe you have a better understanding, smash the like button, drop a comment. I would love to get y'all's insight. Or if there's something that this made you think of that you want to share with me, please share it. Drop a link. Feel free to DM my Instagram at Surrendered Christ Follower. No underscores, no dots, none of that. Just all one word, Surrendered Christ Follower. Same as the channel. All right, so I'm gonna read y'all Colossians 3:23. All right, so verse 23 says, "Work willingly at whatever you do, as though you were working for the Lord rather than for people." And then verse 24, "Remember that the Lord will give you an inheritance as your reward, and that the master you are serving is Christ." And so that's something I always hold on to, and because as a Christian, we have to enjoy our life. He has blessed us with so much, even when we don't see it. I oftentimes get very tunnel vision. I'm looking, what's right here in front of me, but I don't also see the blessings around me. And oftentimes, there's been times I was talking to one of my mentors. He's actually out in seminary, and I met him at Oklahoma Baptist University. His name's Colin, and I was talking to him, and I'm getting baptized. We can celebrate that, right? Anyway, I was talking to him, and I was letting him know, man, like, hey, I'm truly thankful to have met you, and for helping me, because that's whenever I gave my life to Christ, because I grew up in the church, but I was truly never following him. I was truly never living my life for him, and so that's really what I'm trying to focus on every day is, increasing my faith and trusting in the Lord more, because I have anxiety and I have insecurities, and I've let my insecurities and I've let my anxiety destroy me. But whenever I surrender that to God and give him everything that I am and all of my worry, it's like I don't even have to hold on to it anymore. I can live in peace. I can go to my job. I can work my 4 to midnight shift. I can I can just live in peace, and that's what Christ gives me, is peace. And I've seen what like Christ has brought me from, and it just makes me think, like, if I live my entire life for him and I completely surrender to God, like, I can't even imagine the things that he can do for me. And so that's where my spirit is at, and that's where my faith is at right now, is just completely surrendering to God daily more and more, and to read more and to pray more and to love people more, and to just change my perspective on life from seeing it this way to seeing it a completely different way. And that's part of repentance. They say when you repent, you're turning from your past and you're walking toward God. And when you put that past behind you, you don't look back. You can't look back. And it's good to remember the past, but I feel like if you dwell in it, it just destroys you. And that's what Satan wants. He wants you to dwell in your past, of your past mistakes, the things you said or didn't say, the things you did or didn't do. And that's not a way to live, because we all have regrets. We all made mistakes. And the truth of the matter is that we cannot go change them. We do not have a time machine. No matter what we want to do to fix it, you can't go change the past, but you can live for today. And so at my church, the message series that they're going through is called Warrior. And, the basis of it is you have people to protect. You have a kingdom to advance, and then you have a battle to win. And you have to focus on the daily battle at hand. I'm a person that I tend to think 6 months ahead. I tend to think a year ahead. Oh, where can I be in 4 years? Where can I be in 10 years? And none of that is promised, right? The word says, worry about today, for tomorrow has its own problems and stuff like that. And you just never know. You never know when you're going to go. You never know when your time will come. And that's the fact of the matter. So I just try to live every single day for the Lord, and I just try to win every battle with addiction, with sexual immorality, idolatry, and you can put it into however you want for your own life. But this is my struggle. This is my life, and I wouldn't. And the thing about it is looking back after everything I've been through, and I've been to Egypt a couple times, here recently, and I wouldn't change it, because I don't see failure, because God doesn't see failure when he sees us. He sees us blameless. Once you accept Christ, he sees you blameless. Like, failure is our thing. It's worldly. We see failure, but it's not failure. You can't look at it as failure. Just look at it as information. Like, you're gonna mess up. You're not gonna be perfect. I'm not gonna be perfect. No matter how much I want to be perfect, I'm not gonna be perfect. And but when you know that you're loved, and that no matter what, you're always in the cup, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what's going on, because you can live at peace. It doesn't matter if you get evicted or whatever happens in life, because it's all for the good of the kingdom, right? I'm gonna leave y'all with this thought today. My favorite verse right now, and I've kind of made this my verse that I live by, is just because I've been through a lot in the past 6 months, just a ton of stuff, and I'll continue to touch on it. Just keep coming back. Keep smashing that like button. Keep dropping your comments and stuff, because I'm gonna keep coming back, because this is what I'm here for. I'm here to know God more, and I'm here to make him known. But something I'm gonna leave y'all with is a verse in Romans. It's Romans chapter 8, verse 28. What it says is, "For we know that God uses all things for the good of those who love him and are called according to his purpose." And this is a verse that really spoke to me. And like I said earlier, it's a verse that I had read a lot of times. Like, no matter what, as a believer, that no matter what happens in life, God's using it for the good, for you and for his kingdom. It's for the kingdom, but it's for you too. It's to teach you something. It's so that maybe what I went through I can share with you, or what you're going through you can share with someone else. So just keep that in mind, that anything that happens in life, it is for the good of those who love God. So anyway, guys, I'm gonna get off here. I have work in a little bit. I might take a nap or something. I appreciate y'all stopping by. Any prayer requests, drop in the comments below. Any feedback, constructive criticism, I can handle it. Drop it in the comments below. Praise reports, drop it in the comments below. Make sure to like that, subscribe, follow me on Instagram, @SRenderChristFollower. Much love. Peace out, guys. I'll see y'all soon.